Hey, me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, proudly presents to you 15 minutes of fandom. That's right. What we do here is we find one wrestling fan that we feel stands out from the rest of the crowd, put the spotlight on them, and ask them about their love of professional wrestling, what it's done for them, and all that good stuff. So, with that being said, in the first corner we have I keep forgetting. In the first corner we have
I make him nervous. I know. I know.
wait, I think we got somebody else here. Okay, okay.
We'll just hit everybody with the Men in Black thing. You know what I mean? Look at this right here. You know what I mean?
Next.
Boom! There we go. Flash them on. Everybody
In the
forgot.
first corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He is the track wizard of Ringside Society and Delaware's greatest American hero. And whenever he goes to Taco Bell, he orders a chief burrito because he's made of chicken and beef. He is Rob Bass, and you are not. And in the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always positive, life is great, repping 592, living in the 718, no cap,
Okay.
straight facts, the worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. But it's not about us tonight. See, we have a lovely young lady here who is actually from one of the greatest wrestling podcasts
That's right.
a wrestling fan could listen to alongside ours. They have been so influential to black culture in professional wrestling, and they've also came up with something that the brothers and sisters that watch wrestling have been looking for, and that's the BRP, the Black Rasslin Podcast Top 150, where they rank the top 150 um,
50.
wrestlers,
Top 50.
black wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
She is I guess we can say the first lady of Black Wrestling.
The
Everybody, welcome to
EST.
this
The
show, the
EST.
wrestling chick, Mimi.
Hey guys, how are you?
Woo!
We're great. We're great. We're just here, getting ready for Monday Night Raw and all that good stuff.
That's right.
We know you got a jet, so we're just gonna make it quick because we know you got things to do.
Oh,
Uh,
good. Oh, good.
and all that, and you got planned Black Wrestling spot. So we're gonna keep it short and whatnot. And first off, we gotta say thank you for actually appearing on the show. We know we've had our schedules clash and whatnot,
It's all
but
good. We make the
thank you
time,
very
right?
much. Yeah. So tell us, man, how did you become a fan of like professional wrestling? What was the match you saw, or the pay-per-view you saw that made you go, "Yo, that's pretty dope"?
Well, actually, so I grew up in New York and I have been watching wrestling since I was about 8 or 9. And I used to watch wrestling with my brother-in-law, rest in peace. Him and his friends used to watch Channel 5 when it was on Channel 5 in New York. And on Saturday afternoon, I think it came on at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I would watch wrestling with them. And funny enough, Hulk Hogan was my wrestler. Um, Prior to that, fast rewind just a smidge in the fifth grade. One of the guys, he's actually in the wrestling community. His name is Big Ray Hernandez. He actually, him and I were in the fifth and sixth grade together. And he bought a wrestling the WWF magazine, and Hulk Hogan was on the cover. And uh, we used to, after recess, read. And so we had a black teacher, Miss Lewis, at the time, and she never allowed us to read magazines unless it was like, you know, a time, one of those, those, gosh, National Geographic type magazines. Like it had to
Yeah.
be impactful. It had to be like informational and educational. And so he knew this, but he still bought the wrestling magazine, and we sat in a T. And so I sat here and we sat next to the teacher because we talked a lot. So I sat here and he sat like to the left of me, and then the teacher sat to the left of him. And so was reading the magazine. He got in trouble. She took the magazine away. She left it on the desk, and the desk, like, it was on the desk for like a week. And so one day, like, I think she wasn't even there. I took the magazine from her desk and he started telling me about the wrestlers in the magazine. And then, correlating with the Saturday watches, I just fell in love with it. The one thing I did not watch is NWA, because NWA used to come on Channel 11. And seeing Ric Flair as blonde as he was, covered in blood, as a little girl, like, I liked wrestling, but I didn't like it like that. So I stayed on the WWF side. So, and then, life happens. Favorite tag team, the British Bulldogs, Hart Foundation. Favorite wrestler of all time, Bret Hart. He is the most technical wrestler I've ever seen. I've seen as a child, and I was just fascinated by it. Favorite heel was, which is debatable now, was Roddy Piper, and Jake the Snake. Those are my two, like, oh my god. And Ricky the Dragon. Like, it's always heartbreaking watching him, get stomped on, you know what I mean? So yeah, life happened, had my son, and I came in during the McMahon, Mr. McMahon, Stone Cold, Rock-ish type era, 2004-ish. And I was fascinated because the product had completely changed. And then life happened again. And my son asked me for the pay-per-view for the SummerSlam 2014 pay-per-view. And I was just like, what? Huh? That's still around. That's still a thing. And he's like, yeah, mind you, my son is watching. Like, I'm very much like, what are you watching? I got him an iPad at the time, but I didn't realize that he was watching wrestling, to be honest. And so he used to watch the wrestling on the iPad and not necessarily on the TV. And so he asked me for the pay-per-view, and he kept telling me about this $9.99 business. And I was like, $9.99? Like, what are you talking about? They're not selling nothing like that for $9.99. That's ridiculous. I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, Mom, look, I'm going to show you. We can get it on the Xbox. I was just like, whatever. I'm just going to pay the $60 right now, because that's what they used to have it on the cable. So I was just like, let me just buy it on the cable before, you make me do something and get cut off or whatever. So then I ordered it for $60. And the match that brought me back to wrestling as an adult was Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam 2014. And I was just like, what's going on there? Like, who are these two? And he was like, yeah, that's Randy Orton. He's the bad guy. And Roman Reigns, he's supposed to be the good guy, but he was a bad guy. I was just like, oh, okay. And so they're wrestling. I was like, wow, they're kind of good. And I didn't know who they were. And then Brock Lesnar and he was a big John Cena fan. And so that match came on as the main event, and my son cried at the beating John Cena was getting. And I was like, as a mom watching your kid cry, he was like, I can't can't believe this is happening. Look at what he's doing to him. He's a mercenary. He's only doing this for the money. And I was just like, what? It's like, what are
Your son is a smart man.
I couldn't understand what he was like. I was just like, okay, but I wasn't going to tell them that it was, it was all like not, real. So, since from that day on, we watched wrestling together every single Monday, every single Thursdays when SmackDown came on. And then I started getting on Twitter, and I didn't realize there was an area. Well, I was already on Twitter, but then there was an area on Twitter that I had no clue existed at the time, which was wrestling Twitter. And so I was among that for a very long time, and kind of like, started talking to folks. And one of the first people I started talking to was Issa, NYC Demon Diva. And so she and I became very good friends. She lived up the block from me for a very long time. So then we started watching pay-per-views together. And then I, was doing a couple of writing here, podcasting there. And then during the pandemic, I got completely opened up to Black Rasslin Twitter, which I didn't know existed. I used to listen to Rosenberg on the radio. I had 97 on High 97, and um, he used to always talk about the Black Announce Table. And so I started listening to the Black Announce Table because the very first podcast I ever listened to was Juan Epstein. And so then it graduated to Black Announce Table. I started listening to them for a very long time. And that was it. And then everything kind of like morphed during the pandemic because you're spending more time online, you're spending more time on social media, you're spending more time like looking at stuff and looking for content and listening to content. So everything from Public Enemy to the A Show to I was already listening to Cheap Heat before it was like a thing. Just every like Rassle Rap that might have been the fifth podcast that I started listening to.
That's Vin Forte, right?
With Vin and so things just morphed into everything. And so here I am, I do a spaces with Corey, my Kicks is my fix. He's one of my really good friends. He's like a brother. Him and I do a podcast every Tuesdays on Twitter Spaces. I don't like production. I don't like to do a lot of work because I've already have a busy like life already. So Spaces just offers the ability to just podcast and not have to produce and just interact with everybody. Like everybody can join in. And so I find that to be comforting. And then the guys at Black Rasslin asked me to join it because I started listening to them as well. And it's a good fit. It's 4 OGs three OGs because Drip is he's still got milk on his breath. So it was, 4 guys, like-minded, love music, love wrestling. And it was a good fit.
Yeah, that's cool that y'all graduated. Y'all were 4, then I remember y'all was like 3, then Drip joined, and then now y'all are like 5. So y'all do great work, and I gotta say, I'm still trying to. I still gotta work on getting Math and Drip on here. I have to tell off your boy Drip because he blocked us, and I was like, "Yo, Drip, you see what we started?"
Why?
Because I guess it was the FF thing. Because we normally show love to everybody. Yo, this is Follow Friday, so you got to follow. We try to follow him, and he was like, I guess he blocked us. I'm like, I saw him at the not this year's thing for those wrestling girls, last year's own, and I recognized. I'm like, yo, Drip, let me tell you something. You see, when we start interviewing the rest of your crew and not you, I don't want to hear, oh, it's because I'm white. They don't want us. Because I got my own. I got my homeboy Rob right here, so you can't even say, oh, it's because I'm white. Nah, it's because you blocked us.
You would never.
You blocked your own blessings. And then he started laughing. Then he unblocked us. I mean,
but what'd y'all say for him to block you?
We didn't do nothing. All we did was FF people, and we've had people block us before. It's no biggie. But at the same time, I just wanted to let him know that it's nothing if for everybody else you see all your people getting interviewed, and you're like, well, where the hell's my interview? Like, what's up with Ringside? Are they racist? No, we're not racist. You blocked us. We want to talk to you.
He would never say that anyway. He would never say that.
So, but he started laughing and he unblocked us. So Drip, don't worry, man. We're going to get you on there real soon, man. But I just got to say, Mimi, I ain't going to hold you up. I just got one more question. So you're like the coolest mom ever.
Oh my God. Can you tell my son that?
Because my mom encouraged me with wrestling. She wasn't, but to have your mom sit down and watch, that's even cooler.
Yeah, we were watching it together. Here's another piece of it too. He had went to, it was the first year, 2015 or 16 was the first year he went to sleepaway camp. He went to sleepaway camp for 4 weeks. And I continued to watch the product while he was gone. And I used to write him everything that was happening during the thing. And so that was cool. Like I wrote him a letter every day. And so I would write him whatever was going, because at that time I was reading Dirk Cheats and stuff. So I would write to him everything that was going on during the thing. Cool.
So my last question to you before I know that, because we're gonna make it quick because we know you got a jet. And then Rob probably have like
I still have some time. I still have some time. I'm good. Yep.
So what if your son was like, okay, mom, I've been a fan for so long, but I want to be a wrestler. I see Battle Club up the road. I want to go and train at the Fallout shelter with Masha and Joe Kim and the
Mhm.
and Wilkins and them, and I want to go to House of Glory and train with Red and them. I see Sir Wilkins doing it
Mhm.
and Mr. Black do it. I want to do it too.
Mhm.
What would your reaction be? Would you be like, "Oh hell no, you're gonna go get your diploma, go to college, and you're gonna become a you ain't stepping that ring," or you gonna be like, "Okay, yeah, you could do the school thing and afterwards, but
Mhm.
then you can go and take your bumps and whatnot,
Right.
you know, and if you like it, you like it. You got my support." What would your reaction be?
Well, so my son is already in school right now. He played football, he wrestled, he played football, he wrestled, he played baseball, and he played basketball. So
What?
and he ran track. So he if he were to turn around and tell me that, I would absolutely tell him the latter. You will finish your diploma first, and then you can do what you need to do. He's at the University of Mississippi right now, and so that is first and foremost. Like, you go
Awesome.
to school, you do. He's in there for journalism. You finish that up, because with
I
the
hope you are.
sports and that,
I hope, I hope.
it goes hand in hand. And actually, there's an announcer that came from Ole Miss that is on the WWE. So there is a path there, especially what they're doing with the NIL program.
Mhm.
I think Bianca Belair, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, those three, as it pertains to coming out of college or coming out of an outside profession shortly after college, um, homegrown, making themselves a star. Because all WWE does is give you the tools and the resources. What
Right.
you do with it is on you, right? You're the one that's the talent, and you've got to make it work. And if you follow me online, you know that I am a huge Roman Reigns fan. And the reason why I'm a Roman Reigns fan is because I basically delved to his background,
Mm.
and really understanding who he is, one, as a person, and two, watching the growth of that character, from the hate to where the hate didn't really matter anymore, but he was still within that character, to the drastic change until he became the tribal chief. Like, just going through all of that as a fan from day one, um, really, for me, I feel like it's a testament, and it's documented why that NIL program is so important to the business. And it's important, and I get it. Like, there's a lot of people on the indies busting their butts trying to get to, the WWE. And yes, you do need that. You need that experience. But once you go straight into it and go through that developmental system, it works, because then The Rock, that's another one. The Rock, it morphs into something else, because you can't wrestle forever.
Right.
And I personally think that The Undertaker is an anomaly. Like, he's the only person that wrestled to the utter end. You know what I mean? And I think now the talent, they don't want to wrestle to the end. Maybe Randy Orton might want to wrestle to the end, but again, he's another superhuman type guy. He's now hurt, but he hadn't been hurt for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, yes, I would absolutely want him to. But I would rather him get his education first.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You say you like Roman Reigns. You would have loved to. As a matter of fact, I'll probably try to see if I can find that. It's on Spotify somewhere. But we had his cousin, Vale Anawai, who actually does painting and is actually a ring announcer.
Yes,
And
I actually got something from her. I
yeah,
might have gotten a mask or something from her. Yep.
yeah, we actually had her on the show as well too. Really cool person.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I've been a fan of the Samoan dynasty for years.
Yep.
I never get tired of seeing them.
Hmm.
Pretty much like I would say they're one of God's gifts to professional wrestling. That family right there.
That's right.
This a second thing. Whenever your son, and I hope he sees this. First off, if he ever wants to be on the show, he's feel free to tell him feel free to DM us. We'll have him on.
Absolutely.
And same thing with 50, because we like talking to the fans as well too.
Mm-hmm.
But if he becomes a wrestler, we got second dibs on that interview. I know the first dibs, he gonna say,
It's
"Oh, you
Black
got this Black
Rasslin.
Rasslin." That's Ringside Society. We call seconds, so just
Right.
let them know that. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna hold you up. I'm gonna pass over to Rob real quick, and then
Absolutely.
we'll go from there. Rob, go ahead, man. Floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on? How are you doing today?
I'm good. I see the stuff in the back. Those are one of my favorites back there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
The
Well, I had to
movie
put something
posters. Those
back
are
there.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Well, yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. I got my little corner right here. You know what I mean? So I can do my thing. Over
Right.
here, dog treats and dog food. You know what I mean? All that good stuff. And over there, it's like one of those things. It's like, oh yeah, it's all right over here, and over here, it's like,
Right.
if I stack one more thing over here, stuff's piling over. I'm done.
I love it. I
Avalanche.
love it.
Oh, so I do gotta ask, how did you feel
Yes.
about Crown Jewel? Did you get to catch it? And you say Roman's your
I
favorite.
did. I did. You know I had to
Was
watch
there
the
any
tribal
doubt
chief.
that he was gonna win? Wasn't gonna win? You know what I mean? It's like,
I
come
never
on
bet
now.
against the tribal chief.
That's right.
Ever. Never bet against the EST and never bet against the tribal chief. That pay-per-view, in my opinion, was so far Triple H had it, we're happy. We're happy. I know that Raw has been a little shaky these past couple of weeks, but I have to say when it comes to a pay-per-view, WWE always knows how to come back and show up and show out.
Hmm.
From the women's match, the tag match in the beginning was phenomenal. Just Asuka just being the veteran, the class act veteran that she is, and Alexa just kind of coming back into herself, because I feel like with everything that happened with Bray, it was, she got shelved a little bit, and she shut a lot of doubters up, because I know on my podcast we've said, we're not really interested in, like, she doesn't really bring anything, but Saturday she was bringing the heat, and I didn't think that they were going to drop the belts, but I'm not mad at it. Bailey and Bianca put on a show.
Hmm.
I mean, there were times where I thought Bailey was done for, and she wasn't. And Bianca continues to push the envelope and show us, like, this isn't it. Every time we're like, it can't get any better than this, it gets better than that. So again, a couple of people, Justin, um, bet against her. You can go with Pam, but
Yeah.
Bianca's gonna come back. Bianca's gonna come back, and that was amazing. Bobby and Bobby and Lesnar were like, wow. People say whatever they want to say about Brock, that he never wants to do this. He's only there for the money. I think that Brock is truly enjoying himself being a wrestler right now, and it shows in his work. He is not in there just as an in and out type guy. He legitimately is there to help everybody. You can see his enjoyment working with Roman. Now you're seeing him working and to basically pass that beast, Monarch, over to Bobby. Bobby is a powerhouse. He's the almighty. But Brock is the beast still. You know what I mean? He's the true powerhouse. And it's time that like those asterisks in that Paul Heyman talks about in their careers, it's time for both of them to X that out. And I think that Brock would gladly do that for Bobby Lashley. And I can't wait.
That's right.
Um, Logan Paul, holy moly.
Wasn't that
Like,
surprising?
I knew that he was going to be good, because he was good that first match with the Miz and the Mysterios. He was really good. That second match, he was excellent on Saturday. It's unfortunate that he got hurt. I kind of saw the remnants of the beginnings of when he was getting hurt, but it felt like he was determined to finish this match. He was determined to perform. And Roman sold for him. Roman took care of him in that ring. And it's a true testament to the type of person that both those guys are. You know, Roman making sure that, yeah, like he's got 30,000, followers. And that's probably why he sold. He signed a contract. But at the end of the day, he's invested. And if he's invested, the rest of the veterans, they have to be invested, or he's not going to be protected in the ring. So I truly saw, I saw the story. I saw a number of stories, and I absolutely loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, I was surprised with Omos on there because I hadn't seen him for a while and stuff. And it
Mm-hmm.
looks like he's been working, he's been
Yep.
training and stuff.
That too.
I'm like, all right. I
Yep.
was hoping he wouldn't end up like the Giant Gonzalez or some big dude that they
Oh
couldn't do nothing with.
no.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
please, I want him to make it. I want him to be
Yeah.
like the dude out there like holding the belt. Like, who's gonna get this from me? You know what I mean? Look how big I
Right.
am. I want to see
Right.
that. One
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Just
I think
once.
we need to give him a little bit more time. I think he's
Hmm.
coming out of his show. I think the pairing between him and MVP is a good thing. I think it'll help him out. And I literally, I can't wait. What's up, Blue? But yeah, I can't wait for him to kind of like morph into the true giant that he's supposed
That's
to
right.
be. Yeah.
That's right. Now you're talking a little bit, right before we got on, about Undertaker wrestling to the end and stuff and all and like that
Hmm.
wrestling as long as they do. But I'm like, see, I'm 40, and people that are 40 nowadays aren't like people that are 40 10, 20 years ago. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Right.
sometimes, like I know people my age, it's like they're all in shape and do this. It's like I spent
Right.
most of my life, chasing women and hanging with RVD. So like man, like oh man, man, you can do all kinds of stuff. Like
That's
I found
right.
out I can't sprint anymore. I can just jog. I just gotta be
And
faster. So if
and
I
you
start
gotta
sprinting,
jog light. You gotta
yeah,
jog light.
yeah. Yeah, oh, my quads will start, tensing up, and I'm Frankenstein, and I'm done for. That monster gonna get me. I'm dead.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
so
so
I
funny.
like how they're training now. They got DDP yoga and stuff and all like that. I should
Hmm.
probably, work into that or whatever.
Yeah.
Try to do a little DDP stuff. Now I did get to see that you said you're a sneakerhead and all.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, I'm not big into sneakers and all. I wear Chuck Taylors. That's what I like
Those
to
are
wear and
nice
stuff.
too. They're bad for your feet though.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was in Florida last week before, and I went and got these Under Armours that were so comfortable. It was like walking on a
Mhm.
cloud, right? So I'm like, yeah, these are my walking shoes I'm using there. I was
Mhm.
walking
Mhm.
around. I swear I seen some kid there. He had Chuck Taylors on. I was like,
Mm-mm.
mm-mm. As bad as my legs felt, after doing all that, I was like, I imagine his like, woo, oh.
Right. Exactly.
So I wanted to ask, what were some of your favorite sneakers? What are some of your favorites?
So my number one favorite are ones, Jordan ones. I like Jordan ones because I feel like they're sleek, they're clean. They're the original OGs, and Air Force Ones are now one of my favorites. Those two were the first two shoes that I ever got, one and two. The first the Jordan ones, and then I think like my second pair were a pair of Air Force Ones, and so that's always been the affinity for me. I have never been a fan of the threes, but now I'm a fan of them because I kind of feel like they're kind of clunky. I like those better than the fours. Um, I don't like walking and then feeling like when I get home, my legs hurt because my sneakers were so heavy, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So for me, especially with the ones, like I'll buy my son a pair of ones if we're going to like a special event and let's say he doesn't really want to wear shoes. Like he has the shoes, but he's just like, I gotta wear shoes. And so I'll always buy a pair of ones because you can pair a pair of ones with a suit. Like, you know what I mean? Like even if he looks super clean, if you put on a pair of ones, like it's super clean. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't look bad. So yeah, those are my two favorites.
Yeah, I just try to keep, just a little bit what people are wearing for sneakers because if I don't, I'll end up going somewhere and then my friends will be like, "Man, you got on the Grill Master 3000s. And look, you got the Air Dad 10s on. You got the Air Dad 10s." I'm like, "Oh man, come on now, that." Yeah, man.
You know what else is good? What else is really comfortable? The Puma RSX.
Oh, okay.
I got a pair of Toy Story ones, and those, like, I just saw them because I saw one of my friends at work had them on, and they're pretty clunky, but it's like walking on air. They are so comfortable. Puma, and I feel like everybody is kind of stepping up a little bit.
Hmm.
Puma, New Balance, all of them are stepping up. So even if you're not into like the Jordans or whatever, because ones are not all that comfortable. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's more for style. I think Air Force Ones are a little bit more comfortable, but I would, if you're looking for comfort and you want to walk and still be cool with it, for sure, New Balance and those Puma RSX for sure.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah. I'll definitely take your word for it on that. Yeah, because like I said, that's how I do. You know, the Grill Master 3000 and stuff. That's how I do.
You gotta take your pictures in your Grillmaster 3000. Don't be shamed. Don't let nobody
That's
shame
right. That's
you.
right. Yeah, no, I just got a couple pairs of Chuck Taylor. That's all I wear, pretty much. Well, I do my ref shoes, my Under Armours and stuff. They're, because they're
Right.
black. I got to wear them for refing and stuff. So I got those. They're my comfy shoes. So
Nice,
I
nice,
get
nice,
them.
nice. I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I do want to say, before I pass it on back to Remy, I want to say, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule coming on chatting with us. I definitely had a blast.
Absolutely.
I wish you nothing but the best in your all your future endeavors. I wish nothing but the
Thank
positive things to happen to
you.
you, your family, and I hope your son gets that journalism degree and we see him on I don't
Thank
know
you.
ESPN,
Thank you. That's the
Fox Sports
dream.
News or whatever, what net, whatever
Manifest
all
it.
them.
That's right. That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right. Well,
Yeah,
I
big up.
appreciate the time, and I appreciate seeing Blue again, because I know that we saw each other at Legends last month, I think it was, for Extreme Rules, and then we saw each other this past weekend. So it's always a good time seeing you guys.
Louisiana or Dallas?
No, we're Legends.
Oh no, that's that's our co-host Kathy. She's actually in. So you're thinking about Blue Magic?
No.
No,
Didn't
that's Kathy.
weren't you didn't you go to Legends for Extreme Rules?
Are you talking about me?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
I was talking about this that Blue. I thought
Oh, no, no, no. I was
yeah
talking about
she
seeing you at,
yeah.
yeah.
Now she's calling me names. Silly. See that
He
she's our
is
co-host.
silly.
She's our co-host and she's normally on here, but yeah, she likes to call me names and threaten me when I threaten to fire her. So yeah.
No,
I
I
would
was
fire her,
talking
but I
about
would fire her,
seeing
but she's
you.
the only female. And then if I fire her, it's gonna be like, oh, so you're a sexist. Why can't you have a female?
That's
So
right.
I just keep her anyway. So yeah.
No, you keep her because she's a queen. That's why you keep her. Okay.
But Mimi, once again, thanks. I hope your son completes that degree. Big ups to him on starting the college.
Thank you.
I wish him all the best. And like I said, even if he becomes a journalist for like WB or so on, we wish him very well
Thank
because
you.
he's doing something that he loves and everything. So with that being said, we're not going to hold you up. So before we close this show down, where can fans find you on social media? Find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, and all things Roman Reigns, and where can they find your podcast as well too?
You can find me on I am Mimi Shells on Twitter. That's where you really can find me because I hang out there all day, every day. Tuesdays, 7 p.m. tomorrow, actually 6:30. We moved it up to 6:30. Turnbuckle Tuesdays with Corey at My Kicks and My Fix. You should follow him as well. Make sure that you guys check in on Thursdays, Club 835 on YouTube, on the Black Rasslin YouTube. It's shenanigans. You've been in there, you've seen. It's a mess. The chat is live. Come join the party. And make sure you follow Cal. Make sure you follow Fam. Make sure you follow Drip. And make sure you Math will say don't follow me, but follow Math.
Yeah, we follow all of them, so we know who they are. Cal might be a hard man to catch, but we got that try with Math and try with definitely get Drip on and so on. So with
Absolutely.
that being said, y'all follow this young lady. She's definitely doing big things, doing great things, and follow Black Rasslin. I mean,
That's right.
if you for the culture and the wrestling culture, follow them because not only I know you're probably saying, well, why should we look at Black Rasslin's BRP? Was it 150 or 50? Top
50.
50?
Top
Because guess
50.
what? Top 50. Okay, it's probably good. I'm gonna speak it into existence that more black wrestlers are gonna be in there, and it'll become a 150 eventually.
That's
I'm
right.
hoping. But
That's right.
the reason why you should look at that, if especially if you're a black wrestling fan, is because your beloved top 500, actually, there might be that one black wrestler that's been busting his or her ass off, and they don't get that recognition from
That's
PWI,
right.
which is no slight to them. There's a
No
lot of
slight at
people
all.
in
Incredible.
the wrestling community, in the
Hmm.
wrestling business. But that person, like let's say, I'm just gonna throw a name out there, Merrick. Please don't kill me, but Sir Merrick, the one they call Night Bay.
Mm.
He might be in that top 50.
Hmm.
Nobody knows of him. But
Yep.
guess what? Now you do.
Yep.
You know, you got people like Ruthie J, another great one. I'm just putting out names there.
I was gonna
You might
say
not know about
Tiberius
him.
Asante. I train with him every week, man. He busts his ass. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Out there trying, doing
Well,
Yeah,
the
I'll be honest, like
some.
I didn't know half of the people on those lists. I didn't know Trisha Dora is now one of my favorite indie wrestlers. Like,
Mm.
and I want to see her get her comeuppance. Like, she is the best wrestler I've ever seen in the ring. I saw her and MJ Jenkins. I mean, I was locked and loaded in that match, WrestleMania weekend. And if it wasn't for that list, I wouldn't know who she is. I wouldn't know who um Holly what's it Holly uh
Holly, Holly dead?
Holly dead.
Yeah,
Didn't know that was, I thought that was a male. Come to find out it's a female. Then I pulled up her match and I was just like, "Oh my god." This weekend going to Welcome to the Bronx. Savannah Evans, Karen Bam Bam. You see the names on the timeline, but I did not know that they were wrestlers.
yeah. So that's
And
why
so seeing them in action, it's perfect.
and that's why y'all need to follow these people that are actually doing great things by having those lists and putting light on, those that are in the wrestling business
Hmm.
that are not getting the shine that they deserve. So
That's
with
right.
that being said, make sure you follow Black Wrestling Pod. Black Wrestling Pod. They have merchandise as well. Make sure you check them out as well
Yes.
too. And with that being said, it's about time for us to shut this show down. My eyelids are getting heavy. My stomach is rumbling. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not that order. But I got some fried chicken, so you know what's on and popping.
You know it
But
is.
with Rob Bass, the Tommy to my Ghost, the Eminem to my Royce the 5'9". I'm trying to find another. Hey, the Charlie Haas to my Shelton Benjamin. Where can fans find you on social media when they want to talk wrestling, find out your next appearances? And where can bookers and promoters find you when they want to book you for their shows?
All right, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Rob_Base82, and the Facebook, Rob Base. And then this Saturday, Houston, Delaware, 6 p.m. We got one CW, CCW action. Titles are going down. We got a gang war going down, so there's going to be some stuff going down that night. You know what I mean? If y'all are in the Delaware area or the DMV area that can make it to Houston, Delaware, definitely check it out. If you can't, we will do it on Facebook Live also, and then it's also on DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com. You can check it out.
I'm
And
gonna
by
check
the
that
way,
out.
for those of y'all that, Black Wrestling, that CCW right there is ran by a brother, Marcello. Shout out to him. Make sure
Nice.
y'all show the brother some
Hmm.
some
Some
support, and
love.
1CW too. They cool peoples too as well.
Hmm.
But make sure when you go to 1CW, you show CCW some love too, because that brother's been doing it for a year now, and I feel like nobody was really giving him the time of day, and he's the only one that's doing it too. The only brother's doing
Wow.
it. So
Nice.
y'all make sure y'all go and check that
Hey,
man's stuff. If you can't make it there personally, they got it on Title Match. Check it out. But with that being said, if y'all want to follow me on social media, not that I have anything cool to say these days, but who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky. At the Remy Blue is
So
where you can find me
silly.
on Twitter and Instagram as well. And I'm also on Facebook as Remy Blue as well. Our podcast is on social media. We're on Twitch, Ringside Society 2019, Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group, Spotify, and we also have a Teespring store where we sell official Ringside Society merchandise. We just dropped Stripe Lives Matter, which is dedicated to the referees. Check that out. All proceeds go back into keeping our show afloat. And we also have a YouTube channel where you can see a lot of cool interviews like this one, like the one we had with Fam and Blue
Nice.
Matt and many other people as well. So definitely make sure you tune into our YouTube channel because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up. And you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But that being said, we just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. Thank you. We appreciate it. We strive
Yes.
on being the best wrestling podcast one of the best wrestling podcasts or wrestling fans should listen to. Black Rasslin is the other one, and Jobber Tears and so on. But we strive our best. We're going to keep doing our best to bring that to you. To those y'all that are going to listen later on, when you get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really, really truly wish we just go away and take our merch with us. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral and Rob Bass at the Taco Festival, we ain't going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they
Nice.
ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. With that being
Love it.
said,
Love it.
we just want to let everybody know that we're very well with everybody and the grandparents and the parents of a podcast. Well, we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. Hashtag we are not the same. Hey, yo, Rob Bass. One time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for Black Rasslin, who's doing it big for the culture like
That's
nobody's
right.
business,
That's right.
and one time for the first lady of Black Rasslin, the wrestling chick, Mimi.
Y'all amazing.
Woo!
What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, and we will be back tomorrow with another impressive guest. Hell, matter of fact, I'm going to tell y'all right now, we got Red Dog in the building tomorrow from down there in Delmarva. No, not Rodney Mack. That's another Red Dog. Hope he doesn't see this, but we got Red Dog tomorrow. So make sure y'all tune in tomorrow
That's
and
right.
to hear his story and whatnot. But until then, we just want y'all to do 4 favors for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy.